I guess you love movies. I do too. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. First of all, before anything, first things first, I want to thank everyone for all the support on my Godzilla Minus One video. It's done really well. It's ticking up there. It's over 550 views. And it's done a lot better than I expected. Obviously, I've only just come back to YouTube. My views were paltry in comparison to many, but for me, 550 views on I think the third or fourth video back is very good. I'm very happy with it. Thank you for all the support on the video. I was very happy with it. Very proud of it when making it. So to see that you guys enjoy it very much warms my heart. So thank you for the support on the video. And if you enjoyed that video and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do like, subscribe. There's so much more content to come. So, you know, it'll be keep on keeping on. But yeah, today we are doing a video about my month in movies, or more specifically, kind of my 2 months in movies. I don't know if any of you know, if you don't already, I have a Letterboxd account. It will be linked in the description of this video. It has been linked in the other descriptions of the other videos that I've done, but I always forget to plug it at the end of the video. But today is a Letterboxd centric video. We're going to be going through my month of May, briefly, because it's now July, and I didn't get around to actually talking about May in depth, and I don't want to go through 2 months in one video because it's going to be incredibly long. So I'll just do like my highlights of May, and then I'll be on to June, and I'll go into in-depth of what I saw in June, my favourite movies, my favourite rewatch, my favourite new watch, and my disappointment of the month. So, first of all, let's get into the 3 highlights of May. So, my main highlight of May, in terms of my one of my favourite rewatches of the month, was Cinema Paradiso. Cinema Paradiso is a masterpiece, a fantastic movie, a movie I've loved for a long time. I actually hadn't watched it in a long time before I rewatched it last in May, the early part of May. And I just think it's one of the most moving and profound movies for movie lovers, for people that have been at some point in their lives introduced to movies by someone. It has a deep sense of, there's so much joy in it, so much emotion in it, watching it and knowing that maybe the person that introduced you to movies isn't around anymore, they might not be in good health, and it really makes you look back on those times of innocence, sitting in a movie theatre and loving every moment of it. And it's a beautiful film, beautifully performed. For anyone that maybe isn't a foreign movie person, I urge you to go and watch Cinema Paradiso, because I genuinely can't think of a person on this planet that wouldn't like the movie. I watched it with my mum. She likes foreign films, but she's always sceptical about watching them. But she loved the movie, I loved the movie, I love rewatching it, and it was a great experience to sort of share in that joy of cinema once again. My next highlight is going to be a new watch. My favourite new watch of May was What's Eating Gilbert Grape. This was actually very close. I could have picked Naked Gun here. Naked Gun was hilarious and brilliant. It's definitely right up my alley. I'm a big fan of Airplane, but I didn't pick a Naked Gun. I picked What's Eating Gilbert Grape. And I was going into the movie and I was expecting a good movie. I was expecting a film with a lot of heart, a lot of drama, a lot of emotion. You know, your classic Hollywood drama, family drama. You know, but it really surprised me, because this is maybe Leonardo DiCaprio's best performance, along with The Wolf of Wall Street, and those performances couldn't be any more different, in all honesty. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? You know, it follows the story of a mentally challenged young man, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and he is one brother in a family that lives in this sort of remote town. There isn't a lot going on. People are very bored. Johnny Depp plays the main character in the film, and for the first half, it's a very solid family drama that is elevated by its performances. But there are scenes later on in this movie that are so heart-wrenching and so brilliantly acted. The nuance in the performances, It's not one of those sappy Hollywood movies where you think you're being like manipulated emotionally. The performances are so sincere and so well done, and Johnny Depp perfectly balances the more sort of showy performance from DiCaprio. But it's a great cast, and honestly, it's definitely a movie worth watching, and a movie I really liked a lot. And it reminded me of Forrest Gump, obviously the content, that one of the main characters, and their sort of what they're dealing with, but this movie felt a lot more concentrated. I like Forrest Gump, but it feels like a smorgasbord of other movies. It feels like it wants to do too many things, and it actually is a lot better when it concentrates on the central conflicts, on the central emotions of the film, and its main character, and its most important character. Because the performances in both movies are great, but I feel like What's Eating Gilbert Grape just has that focus, and is a little bit more concentrated, and I actually think it's a better film. Hot take, I know, but if you haven't seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape, definitely check it out. It's fantastic. The last movie of May that I'm going to highlight is my favourite rewatch of that month, along with Cinema Paradiso, and that is Alfred Hitchcock's cinematic masterpiece, Vertigo. I've seen the movie probably about 10 times at this point, but every time I watch it, it's extraordinary. It's one of my favourite films of all time. It's really Hitchcock's most personal exploration of his inner self. Everything that Hitchcock makes feels very calculated, it feels very methodical and well made and tense, but it never feels personal, and Vertigo really for me is the quintessential personal Hitchcock. It's the movie where his internal desires, fears seem to be realised and brought to the screen in a more abstract and dreamlike sense. The music by Bernard Herrmann is eerie, haunting, beautiful. It is one of my favourite, if not my favourite film score ever put to the screen. The performances, James Stewart was an extraordinary actor, and this is one of his best performances for sure. Kim Novak is phenomenal, and her performance is so layered. Yeah, Vertigo is just so good, and in contrast to another movie of Hitchcock's that I watched the next month in June, it is truly extraordinary, and really I don't think Hitchcock post this movie ever reached these heights again. But yeah, that is my highlights of May, and I'm also going to put on screen, probably either side of me, all the other movies I watched this month, so give those a look. Some of them I liked, some of them I didn't. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed my May recap, and then we're just going to get on to June. So that was the May section of the video, and now I'm going to go into the June section. Apologies for the phone in the video, but I've been trying to work out a way for me to look at a list of films from June. There's multiple films, and I'm never going to remember them all and in order. So I'm going to be looking at my phone throughout. So sorry for that, because I was trying to set it up in front of the camera. We're going to have to keep looking at, like, my eye line was going to be coming off. It would be really annoying. So I'm just going to be looking at my phone, just so I know what movies I'm talking about. So I was talking about Hitchcock earlier, and Vertigo, and how it's one of his best movies, if not his best movie. It's one of my favourite movies of all time, and it's very good at sort of exploring the internal of these characters and Hitchcock himself as a director, and all of his desires and fears and all of that sort of tension inside his characters. And another movie that attempts to do this is a film called Marnie, starring Sean Connery and Tippi Hedren, who famously Hitchcock also made a movie with called The Birds, and even more famously had a massive falling out with because of his infatuations with her. And Marnie is a movie that it feels like a movie I would love, but it doesn't turn out that way, mainly because the main two characters are both horrific people in different ways. Tippi Hedren's like she's like a compulsive liar, a thief. She's not a good person whatsoever, but there's clearly something haunting her, as the constant, fearful, attacks happen when she sees the colour red. And eventually that reasoning is revealed, and it's somewhat obvious. Sean Connery eventually meets her. He sees that she steals money from a bank that he's like investing in, I believe. and he sees her at another bank later in the movie, and he knows exactly who she is, but pretends not to. And they start this relationship, and it is probably the most toxic, manipulative relationship, like, basically ever. She's an awful person, but Sean Connery might be worse. It's like he just, like, wants to torture her relentlessly, and by the end almost accidentally helps her, but it doesn't feel like there's any sincerity for that, and it does feel quite over the top, it does feel quite overblown, and it doesn't have the sort of nuance, the subtlety of Vertigo or any of Hitchcock's other films in this sort of genre and in this regard. It was kind of underwhelming for me. The performances aren't bad, Sean Connery's quite good in it, but I wasn't really in love with it. I thought I would like it a lot more. It actually isn't the first movie I watched this month. The first movie I watched this month was Ferrari by Michael Mann. And that movie's okay. It's not great. It's kind of a little bit bland. Penelope Cruz is the highlight. She's very good in it. And now on to the rest of my list. So what was the next one? Jarhead. Rewatch Jarhead. Jarhead's awesome. If you haven't seen Jarhead, go check it out. Very good war movie about boredom, about being trained to do one thing and not being able to do it. These characters going crazy. It was one of Mendes's best movies, I think. Jake Gyllenhaal's fantastic in it. Jamie Foxx is very good. It's beautifully shot by Roger Deakins. All these things are good things, so go check out Jarhead if you haven't already. Next one was The Hours, which was okay. It's very well performed, obviously. Nicole Kidman, Meryl Streep, Julianne Moore, all phenomenal actresses, and I've definitely mistaken one for the other in a movie or two here or there. But they're very good in it, and it's a good film, but it just feels way too disconnected for its own good. I understand that's the idea, that is the structure, but I feel like possibly focusing on one or two characters would have been better than three in this one. It's not a bad film, but not a great one in my opinion. The next film on the list, Aladdin rewatch. I love Aladdin. Like, R.I.P. Robin Williams, no one can do that character like you. Honestly, phenomenal. I will rewatch La La Land as well. That hit me quite hard this time. I love when you rewatch movies, you can have a completely different experience, or it can impact you differently depending on the stage you're at in your life. And these characters, you know, assessing whether they're going to make it, whether their dream's going to come true, whether they have it in them to go as far as they need to fulfill their dreams, whether they're going to settle, was something that really hit me this time. Because I'm post-uni, I'm 2 years out, I'm thinking about what I want to do in my life, and this movie really hit me there this time around. It's a great film, Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone, Damien Chazelle, when he was like the guy, right? Not after Babylon, where he is probably not that guy. You know, the movie's not bad, but it's fucking weird. After La La Land, we got First Omen, the remake of The Omen. Well, not the remake, it's actually a prequel to The Omen, which is weird. It's the first Omen, but it's not the first Omen. It's an omen of sorts. First Omen, it's well made, and I enjoyed it, kind of. But it's kind of self-defeating, because the premise is like, you know, we know where this ends up. Like, it was decent without being exceptional, and the scene where it blatantly steals the best scene from Possession, which is a much, much better movie, not gonna lie, kind of checked out a little bit. Not a bad movie, well made, well acted, just kind of like, do I need this prequel? Probably not. Then we go for Hitman. Hitman's really good. If you haven't seen Hitman already, honestly, reminds me of a 90s movie. It's unashamedly sexy, doesn't care, it's fun, it's entertaining, it's, you know, engaging, really good performances from all. Really enjoy it. I've actually got a short little review on my Letterboxd, so go check that out. Trees Lounge, Steve Buscemi directed movie. Steve Buscemi's great in it because he's Steve Buscemi and he's great in everything, but it's an okay slice of life movie. Then we've got King of Thieves, another film. It's like a fine-ish heist movie. It's really weirdly edited at points. It's like an old guy heist. It's okay, it's watchable. Next one is definitely more than watchable, and that's Godzilla Minus One, which is my favourite new watch of the month. I thought it was fantastic. Oh, by the way, just to let you know, I was going to say earlier in the video, Marnie's my disappointment of the month. Just to get it out there, first of all, because I forgot to say that. But Godzilla Minus One is my favourite first watch of the month. I've made a whole video on it, so go check that out. But Godzilla Minus One fucking rules. Then I watched a movie called Raging Grace, which is a solid psychological horror movie. I didn't love it. I thought it was fun and entertaining and disturbing and well acted. So check that out. It's got good visual style as well, so that's a nice one. I watched The English Patient for the first time. It was pretty good. It's really well acted. It's gorgeous looking, very vast scale. I just feel like it's kind of like two movies in one. It can't really decide which one it wants to be, and at points each one is more interesting than the other, and overall I think it probably should have been one or the other. And yeah, it's good, but not amazing, and it does feel very Hollywood Oscar baity. Nocturnal Animals rewatch, fantastic movie by the way. Stylish, beautifully made, really well acted, dark, disturbing, everything I like. Yeah, go check it out if you haven't, because Jake Gyllenhaal, Amy Adams, really good in it. Like I said, very well directed, very good movie. That highway sequence, fuck me, that is anxiety inducing. Another rewatch while I was on holiday was The Iron Giant. I love The Iron Giant. It's a super fun movie. Brad Bird's directorial debut in animation, like really fun. And on my Letterboxd I have a funny review, so if you want to see that, check that out. Another animated movie I watched while I was away, because I was away in Felixstowe, so I didn't watch too many movies, but I watched Shaun of the Sheep, Farmageddon. Yeah, I am so cultured right now. No, that movie's fun. Like, Shaun the Sheep's fun as hell. I love all the Aardman stuff. I love Wallace and Gromit. It was a fun romp. Like, it's like fucking sheep. It's like a sheep with. It's like an E.T. with sheep movie. That's what it is. So just go check that out if that sounds what you want to see. Next film on the list. Here we go. This gets to my double feature, which I saw this last weekend, just gone. I rewatched the Terminator movies, the good ones, the first two. The first one sat right here, which is a great movie. So like focused, well directed, stylish. It's basically a slasher movie in a sci-fi context. You know, Cameron did brilliantly with the budget he had. Unfortunately, some of the special effects are pretty ropey, but it's still a very good movie. And I also rewatched Terminator 2, which is my rewatch of the month. The movie fucking rules. Every time I watch it, it's got everything you want from a blockbuster movie. Great action sequences, great performances, that twist of the good Terminator sent back, the relationship with him and John Connor, everything about it, just so good. If you could remove the bad stunt doubles and the fact that the T-1000 for some bizarre reason just disappears midway through the film, it would be perfect. It is so good. And no diss to the T-1000, you're really, really fucking cool and menacing and have weird ears, but you're very good in the film. No, but yeah, that is my movies for June. And it's July now. That's fucking crazy. How did that happen? This year has just zoomed by. But yeah, those are all my watches for June. A few recaps for May. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more Letterboxd videos, more My Month in Movie videos, let me know down in the comment section below. This has been a bit chaotic, I will not lie. But if you enjoyed this content, if you enjoy this format, like I said, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I will have a video about the How to Save Cinema soon, but I don't want to rush it out. I don't want to make a haphazard video essay series. I want to make something really good. So it might take longer than expected, but when it does come, it will be good, I hope. There'll be more videos coming very soon. I'm going to see Kinds of Kindness this week, big Yorgos Lanthimos fan, so watch out for that video. And yeah, thank you for all the support on the channel, all the views, all the new subscribers, and for all the new subscribers to come. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Goodbye.